Wasabi Gangsters. Let's do some housekeeping first. Let's just get that right out of the way. I will put a timestamp for those looking to get right into my reading, but I want to dive into some stuff that happened this week in terms of writing, just because of I want to front load it because it's just put up this past week. I did the cover reveal last week. We did a cover reveal stream. I talked about that, but also I posted a short story for the first time in the Mercy universe. That's up there on the Patreon. I'll link it down in the description below. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Some people already have, which I'm really grateful for. Whatever honesty you throw my way, I'm game to hear it. So please go check that out and let me know what you guys think. In that regard, I will be posting writing updates every Friday that go in line with these videos. I don't know if I mentioned that last Friday in the video, so I will post in detail, word count wise, where I'm at in the writing process. So right now, again, editor has my draft. Currently, we're going through second round of developmental edits. Dave Butler has, and then we will implement what he sends when he sends it over. I should be getting it this week. It's Thursday right now, maybe tomorrow or sometime between now and Monday, I'll be getting the dev edits back. So yeah, that was the big things that happened here on the channel in terms of writing. I picked up some books. Let's talk about reading, because I will, in terms of writing, I'll jump back in a little bit at the end there. So I want to get into reading a little bit more now while you guys are here. So I'm currently halfway through the Bonehunters, just about halfway, like 49%, because it's a big book. It's a chonker, and I'm loving it so far. I have some estimations that I texted Jake over from Nerd Level Rising about in terms of who the Bonehunters are, because we've been introduced to some things and some concepts that I wasn't expecting, which is very exciting. There is this awesome siege in here, which I don't think is saying much. I'm not going to get into too much description, but it subverts what you think a siege should be for sure. And I think that Steven Erikson does that a lot in his books with his battle scenes, and the interaction between characters and soldiers is always something that's so appealing to me, because it does feel very real in a lot of ways, just in terms of the characters and the humor between them, the gallows humor, and otherwise it's a very, very well done story so far. I think right now this puts me like 50% through the entire series, and I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the year. So my hope is I got to do the Return of the Crimson Guard and all the Ian C. Asimov books that tie into the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I will be doing those in publication order. So I hope to be finishing that all by the end of 2025. Just an update in terms of my reading schedule. I also, I got Alevist up here. Hold on. Let me move him out of the way. I'm also about 40 pages into Eluthienn. The Red Company and I, Chris over at Beater Book Beast, Alex at Iskandaria, and Jake at Nerd Level Rising will be reading this for our conversation at the end of the month or beginning of February. So I'm only, again, 30, 40 pages into this. I'm starting to go back to reading more than one book at a time after I've taken this little dip from editing. So yeah, that is my reading as far as novels are concerned. As far as manga, back up. I am in the middle of volume 17, or maybe, no, I'm probably about 70, 80% through volume 17 of Berserk, and I'm on the, let's check, because I paused in the middle of a chapter. Let's see what we got here, folks. Conviction Arc, Birth Ceremony Chapter to Holy Ground Part 2. So a lot has just taken place, and there are some really deep points. I'm going to get into spoilers for Berserk here. So again, just safe bet, cut 2 minutes ahead and probably jump into my writing at that point, or some little mini book haul I've got. There are some things with Godo in here. Ogado, I'm probably not saying that right. There's a conversation about revenge and its personification through Guts, because he's going back to look for Casca, and this is somebody that deeply affected him, who he deeply cares for. And I think we see Riker again, and it's a whole other family that he has that he's not realizing in the moment. And then Gado calls him out and essentially is like, hey man, like, vengeance is, I think it goes something along the lines of, which is probably the deepest line that has hit me in this story so far, in 6 deluxe volumes in. And there's been some hitters, but this references revenge is like sharpening a already bloodied, rusted sword with more blood, and just how it's like a consistent effort, and it's never going to pay off. And I don't know, there's something in that really struck me, and I just loved how you can apply that to anything in life, not necessarily vengeance, but how we look at ourselves and the voice that we speak to ourselves with, that self-talk a lot of the time, that resistance, that negative self-talk. And it just kind of came up for me. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this story again. Emotions and hit notes that I weren't expecting to be hit with this story are being hit. And I cannot wait to get further in this journey. I believe myself, Tom Orange, Britton from Some OK Dude, and then the rest of the Red Company we'll be doing a discussion of the conviction arc once we get to that. I think I've referenced that last week. That'll be volume 21. So that is my reading current update where I'm at. Boom shakalaka, laka boom. Next week, next Friday, I will be going to a convention. I think it's MarsCon, Chris Verrocchio. All these books here. My amongst my favorite series, probably my top 2 favorite series, Sun Eater. He's going to be the guest of honor there. So I will be in Norfolk, Virginia for that convention, which will be really fun. I can't wait to actually meet him. We do share a developmental editor, which I think is cool. One of the reasons why I selected Dave was honestly for that reason, just because, if one of my favorite authors trusts this guy, why shouldn't I? You know what I mean? And also, obviously, of course, his accolades and everything that he's done so far in his career. Okay, let's talk about some pickups I got. I got The Dawn of Everything, A New History of Humanity by David Graeber, and David Wengrow. And this was a recommendation by Philip Chase over at Philip Chase Best of Fantasy. And I want to get some more nonfiction in this year. There is something I'm reading right now. Can't think of it. That I'm also checking out. So this Dawn of Everything I'm reading right now, or I'm not reading right now, but I want to get into probably the next couple of months. I think I'm going to try and fit a chapter a day into this. I picked up Streets of Laredo, and I need to get a chapter a day of this as well. My girlfriend and I read Lonesome Dove together. We are intending to read this one together as well because we love the series and the characters in it. I miss all of them, and I cannot wait to get back to this. Although I hear that it starts kind of in an unexpected turn, and I guess Larry McMurtry kind of tells you in the foreword of Lonesome Dove or the afterword, I can't remember, kind of what goes on in the rest of the series. So I'm really looking forward to this. I got this copy because I enjoyed the paperback of Lonesome Dove, and I'm hoping to get a similar experience here in terms of just like the reading experience. I know it's not the same. I know that there's a lot more violence, but Larry McMurtry's writing is something I miss. So I'm really excited to get back into the Streets of Laredo. And then also I picked up, because I have to read it after, I believe it's my next read. It's either this or To Ride Hell's Chasm. I'm not 100% sure yet. But Prophet of Adan by Philip Chase, which I cannot wait to get back into the Adan trilogy. I'm hoping to finish the trilogy up by March, April timeframe, based on when I pick this one up and finish it. And I know Return of the Dan is people's favorite in the series, but apparently a lot of crazy stuff happens in this one, and it's kind of unexpected in a trilogy for the things that do happen in this one in the middle book. So I think I'm really looking forward to getting back to that world and seeing some characters that I haven't seen in quite a while. So that's all, like book haul, reading update, little writing Patreon update, but I'm also going to talk about just writing projects, which you guys can see in the writing update that I put up on Patreon. So if you're here just for reading or whatever you're here for, I'm grateful that you came. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know. If you want to talk books, let's talk books. That's the best part. It's one of the best parts about this. I know that when you guys come here and speak to me in the comments and give me recommendations, tell me about what you're reading and how it's impacting you, it greatly makes my day better. That's all I know. And that's just, it's all anecdotal. It's not actual science. Although to me, it feels like science. So there you go. I'm going to talk about more writing stuff right now, some projects I have going on, as well as the developmental edit. So again, developmental editing with Dave is going great so far. I think, we'll see. I'm supposed to get back the manuscript again for round 2. He's referring me to a copy editor because there's a timeline with my other copy editor that I was going to have that just didn't quite line up. So he's referred me to somebody. I think we're going to get in touch, and she's going to help me out with the copy editing process, which would be great. I can't wait to do that. And then I have a couple proofreaders picked out as well for when that time comes. I'm also working on 2 separate novella projects. Again, I just posted that short story that's down in the description below. Over on Patreon, you guys can read it. And again, it's not professionally, looked through, but it is definitely edited and touched up. And but in terms of just like a long-term short story collection that I'm putting together, of course, in the future when I'm putting an anthology together, I'll have another run through of edits and everything. So it is something that not thrown together. It is an important story that takes place before Reckoning, and you guys will learn what that is as time goes on. And I cannot wait for you guys to learn that. And I'm also writing a novella called Snowmane, which takes place also before Reckoning, or I guess in this instance during Reckoning. And that one, I believe the intention will be to have it read after books 1 and 2, just as I'm writing it. There's some things in there that I'm like, there's some things I want to tell you guys through the eyes of this character that is in book 1 that maybe you shouldn't know until after book 2. I'm trying to decide right now. I'm trying to decide if I can cipher myself, like siphon out that information myself and, present to you guys maybe a chapter by chapter novella piece over on Patreon for that story. Otherwise, I'm working on the Dawn Sun novella. Each are about 2,500 words in development. I just cut like 500 from the Dawn Sun and then wrote another 500 for it. But that one takes place well before Reckoning. That is like a 10,000 plus year time difference. And that story, called the Dawn Sun, will have a character I will not name. It'll be somewhere, and I am not at liberty to discuss any more information than that. But that one will also be, the intent of that one will probably be to be read post book 2, if not after the entire main series. But I can see it being read between books 2 and 3. That said, again, it's a 4-book duology. So that means books 1 and 2 make up their own arc. Books 3 and 4 will make up their own arc. And the goal is that, they can be put in an omnibus together and you can just read all of them at one time, 2 chonkers instead of 4 single ones. But, I'm putting it out as 4 single, smaller, digestible books to just make sure that, I can introduce the World of Mercy and give it everything that that it deserves in terms of the story that needs to be told. Now, I also have an idea. I want to hear what you guys think as I'm rambling. I have another short story, another novella I'm working on. Some of the characters that you meet in the short story I put in the description below are going to be in this novella. And this is a novella I'm confident I can release chapter by chapter without revealing too much information. It's just a really cool story about Alevist Lightseeker, essentially during the Reckoning, taking people from a place and bringing them somewhere else. And I want to put that up, I think, weekly, chapter by chapter. That's the idea I'm kind of running with. I've already started kind of working on it, but ideally every week I'm giving you guys a chapter. The issue that I know I'm going to run into is on drafting and just putting out chapters, I love kind of just throwing some lore in there and some world building stuff. So that is just one of those hurdles I have to kind of just get over if I want to be in contact with you guys and introduce you to the World of Mercy. I'm comfortable sharing this stuff with you. It's also an exercise for me to do it and then go back eventually and fix it up before it's a published novella. But I think putting it out for you guys would be cool. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you want something that's more complete and finished and done and absolutely, or do you want to be a part of the process and give feedback and see the things, be a part of the world and the world building, and Alevist Lightseeker's story. I believe I'm going to tell this one through first person, though the main book is multi-POV, third person limited. This one will be strictly first person through Alevist Lightseeker's eyes as a journal entry. And I would love to release it to you guys chapter by chapter every week. I probably won't start this until February, but I want to hear what you guys have to say in the meantime, if that's something that you're interested in, leading up to the release of book 1 come July. If not, just tell me. I want to know if you guys are just like, hey, I'm just awaiting book 1 and I don't want to spoil the world or aspects of it. I want to learn through it all the first time reading book 1. That's fine too. But I am toying with this idea because it's interesting to me. It's fun. It's something that's exciting. I can just do it weekly. It's an exercise for me also to kind of discover some more things about this event that I had already in my head that had happened in the past as I'm writing books as I wrote books 1 and 2 as far as I drafted them. But yeah, you guys can see the detailed word count breakdown over on the Patreon for my writing updates. I will have real time tomorrow. I'm recording this Thursday. I'm about to go work on this project I was just talking to you guys about, and I will give real time word counts as to what I have. So yeah, let me know what you guys think let me know what you think of the short story. Let me know if you guys want the chapter by chapter weekly of an Alevist Lightseeker novella story. And then, the goal is, I think that'd be really fun to just put out novellas. It's all for free, by the way, and put it out and for you guys to kind of experience the world with me and to see some character stories in the world that are a part of characters' pasts and or through time. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. So, anyways, I'm rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm again incredibly grateful that you guys take the time to sit down and watch these videos. Leave the comments down below about what you think of the idea, and I will see you guys next Friday. All right. Have a good weekend.